the significance of India as a land, Bharat, is this. Bharata means… Bha means bhava, Ra means raga, Tha means thala. Bhava means it is the sensation of experience. See, you must understand this. If you touch something, if you smell something, if you see something, if you hear something, the only way you experience it is either in terms of pleasant sensations or unpleasant sensations. So your whole experience of life are sensations. It may not be sensational, but it is sensations. So this is the bha. And these sensations are not actually dependent upon what is happening around us, but this is dependent upon how we respond to what is around us, or in other words, what the world throws at us. We cannot always decide, but what we make out of it is entirely ours. See, music, for example. If you listen to a certain kind of music that you think is wonderful music, you feel, Somebody else is listening to some other music, let's say heavy metal music. You think it's it'll create a nervous breakdown for you, but somebody else creates ecstasy for them. Same sound, because it's the way you respond from within. So this is bhava, the sensation. And these sensations are stimulated from outside, but essentially caused by you. Raga means it's the tune of life. This you have no role in this is the nature of the existence. The tune is already set. If you had to set the tune, it would drive you crazy. The tune is already set. The only real thing you have to do is, you have to find the thala. If you find the rhythm, then suddenly life feels like a dance. If you don't find the rhythm, it'll become a circus, torturous circus. You will see you will see this happening on various levels. Two people got married and they find the rhythm between them, suddenly they seem to be in an ecstatic state. Somebody else got married, they did not find the rhythm, what a torturous circus they're going through on a daily basis. So, your business is just this, to find the thala. This is the fundamental of this nation, that we always focused on finding the thala, not trying to change the raga of life, because you cannot change it. The way existence is made is the way it is. We can create the bhava that we want within ourselves and find the rhythm. Once we find the rhythm… See, people always thought, these days at least they're thinking, if you become spiritual, you may not succeed in your business. When the entire population, I want you to understand, just 5 to 8 generations ago, there was no single Indian person who did not have a spiritual practice of his own. Because at that time, spiritual process was not transmitted necessarily by a guru or an organization. In every home, there was a spiritual process. Their own grandmothers taught them something. There was no person who did not have some kind of a spiritual process of their own. When that was happening, we were the most successful economy on the planet. So obviously, it doesn't work the way people think. I'm asking you one thing. Tell me, in your life, are you ready for more activity when you're joyful or when you're depressed? When you're joyful, you're willing to bend backwards and do whatever is needed, isn't it? When you're depressed, can we get you going? To wake you up in the morning itself is a feat. So, the most important thing is this is a culture which invested heavily on how to find the rhythm of life. We are not talking about what is the nature of the heaven, who sits there, this is not important for us. How you are right now within yourself is the most important thing. And what kind of thought, what kind of emotion and what kind of action do you perform, not guided by the morals and commandments from outside, but your own consciousness. This is a way of stirring up your humanity. This is not about morality, this is a way to make sure your humanity is on every moment of your life, that you are not trying to be good whichever you are. Whichever way you are, if you are in a certain state of consciousness, let me make you understand what is consciousness. There is a physicality to you, there is a body to you. And a body inevitably must have a boundary, isn't it? Those of you trying to expand your boundaries, I'm asking you. Anything physical inevitably has a boundary. There is no other way. Physical has boundaries. If you get identified with your physicality, you will set up boundaries. Once you set up boundaries, you become exclusive. When we say consciousness, we are talking about that dimension of your life which is not physical in nature. Once you become conscious of that, or once that becomes a living process for you, then naturally you have no boundaries. Nobody has to tell you be inclusive, nobody has to tell you be good to somebody. People are always saying in the world, being good is so difficult. Yes, if you're identified with your limited boundary and trying to expand it all the time, you will suffer immensely. But if you're not identified with your boundaries, if you understand what is physical is just an accumulation of actually the food that you've eaten, if you understand physical is just an accumulation, the real you is somewhere else, if you have an experience of that, a living experience of that, that is when you truly belong to Bharat, because this is the nature of this nation and this is what the world needs. In many ways, people are talking about making India into a global leader. India definitely has the necessary qualification to become a global guide.